Well, joining us now here in the studio is Tawfiq Rahim. He's Director of Globe Sites and is here to tell us more about the significance of this commemoration today, Tawfiq, in the current political context in Egypt.
Well, this is a key moment in Egypt's history, and I think both parties today are trying to come out and claim it for themselves. The pro-Morsi or anti-coup group, and of course the pro-government or pro-military factions. And this date can kind of galvanize their base of supporters, or for the pro-Morsi camp, create a moment in a time where they don't have much momentum to try and put their issues at the forefront of Egypt's national climate.
Those who support the Muslim Brotherhood say that the Egyptian military is not what it used to be.
Sure.
Is that the case, do you think? I mean, or is it still a very popular and respectable institution among Egyptians?
Well, it may be a popular and respectable institution, and it is definitely the largest, most organized institution, and in many ways the most national of institutions. And the army tries to play on that on this day. But at the end of it, this is not the Egyptian military of 40 years ago. They have not been fighting Israel or any external enemy for quite some time. And so these occasions to celebrate, while interesting, and yes, many Egyptians have fervor for it, are really clinging to a past that even never was, because there wasn't any complete victory against Israel. It was only a few days of advances.
And so what are then the implications of this Arab-Israeli war 40 years on?
Right.
You know, what has it done for the Arab world?
Well, definitely it's much more of a symbol today than it was even 50, 40, 30 years ago. Even then, leaders were paying lip service to it while still focusing on internal issues. But today you see the relationship between the Egyptian government and Hamas and Gaza, and really it's a peripheral issue. It's on the edges of not just the government, but even the populations who are seeing the internal situation in the country being much more dangerous at times than even the Arab-Israeli conflict.
But did it achieve anything, you think?
The October War?
Yeah, the October War. Did it achieve anything for Arab countries? Because when you look at the Israeli-Palestinian peace process, for instance, it hasn't gone anywhere.
Sure.
So, you know, what's left of it?
It achieved two things. I mean, number one, Israel had seemed invincible in many ways until that point. And this is the first time we saw Arab advances against Israel, and it was caught by surprise. And even in Israel, this led to internal investigations. And of course, Sinai was returned by the end of the decade and shortly thereafter to Egypt. And so that could be claimed as a territorial victory. But it did not lead to any change in the Israeli occupation of the West Bank and Gaza Strip, which continues unabated, much due to the acquiescence of countries like Egypt to the Israeli regime, with whom they share very close relationships with.
All right, Tawfiq, thank you very much for your analysis. Tawfiq Rahim, a political analyst here in the studio with us with more on the commemorations of the Arab-Israeli war 40 years ago today.